Legend of Yufei, Chapter 35.
Our story kicks off. It's on this place, Jugong Mountain. And who's the big boss there?
Yeah, who?
A formidable figure, this guy named Dong Xian. And he's not alone, not by a long shot. He's got his 4 sworn brothers, Tao Jin, Jia Jun, Wang Xin, and Wang Yi.
Okay, so a family affair, sort of.
And a massive force. We're talking over 5,000 men. They're not just like hanging out up there. They're running a serious bandit operation, a proper stronghold.
Okay, 5,000 men. If we connect that to the bigger picture, it's immediately clear, isn't it? Dong Xian isn't just some minor character, this huge following his family ties.
Mm-hmm.
It suggests a pretty significant power base.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it raises that question, right?
Yeah.
What kind of influence does a leader need to pull together 5,000 people and actually hold a mountain stronghold against, presumably, the state?
And here's where it gets really interesting. So Dong Xian hears that General Yufei's military provisions are passing nearby. Now, instead of just seeing it as, a simple score.
Like grab the loot and run.
Right. He declares, and this is quite something, I was just thinking of seizing the Song dynasty and becoming emperor. He actually believes, like genuinely, that if he captures Yufei, the whole dynasty crumbles.
Wow.
This isn't about loot, it's about ultimate power. The throne itself.
That jump, though, from banditry straight to imperial ambition. I mean, what's fascinating there is it suggests a character with some kind of foresight, maybe. A grander vision, even if it's, well, wildly audacious.
Totally audacious.
It tells us right away that the stakes of this encounter are way higher than just, a typical highway robbery. This is potentially nation-shaking stuff.
So Dong Xian, with this emperor idea buzzing in his head, takes 1,000 of his men and sets up an ambush. Smart move.
Strategic.
And the convoy is approaching. It's led by General Shi Zongbing, who's a Huku general for Yufei, basically. He guards a key spot.
Okay.
And Dong Xian's appearance alone, the text makes it sound terrifying. He's like 9 feet tall.
9 feet? Seriously?
Yeah. Face like a pot bottom, fierce yellow eyebrows, a blood-red beard. He's wearing an iron helmet, black armor, riding this spotted blue mane horse.
Wow.
And carrying this weapon, a tiger head crescent-bladed shovel. Just sounds brutal. He roars out, demands the provisions, threatens to kill everyone if they refuse.
That description, it's not just for color, is it? It paints Dong Xian as genuinely intimidating, someone capable of striking real fear into opponents.
Oh, absolutely.
Which, makes what he does next even more surprising.
Exactly. Because General Ji Zongbing, described as old and weary, is, well, the text says, scared out of his wits. His soul flew to the heavens.
Can't blame him, really.
No. He admits he messed up, took the wrong route, and he just pleads with Dong Xian, really humbly. Says he's old, no match for him, and, if he loses these provisions, Marshal Yufei will execute his entire family. It's a desperate, raw plea.
And that moment of vulnerability from General Shi and Dong Xian's reaction to it, it's key, isn't it?
Totally key.
Yeah, because you'd expect this ruthless bandit leader, the one who wants to be emperor, to just take the stuff. Especially after that big declaration. He has all the power.
But he doesn't. Dong Xian does something completely unexpected. He looks at Shi Zongbing, sees his white beard, and decides he's an honest man.
An honest man.
Yeah, and he doesn't take the provisions. Instead, he tells Shi, okay, set up camp here, send a messenger back to Yufei, tell the marshal that Jigong Mountain iron-faced Dong Xian de Wang has blocked the provisions and demands Yufei personally come to battle.
Whoa. So a direct challenge.
A direct challenge to the big man himself.
Okay, connecting that to the bigger picture. It reveals this layer of, honor? Maybe?
Yeah.
Or perhaps it's just pure strategy on Dong Xian's part.
Could be either, right?
Yeah. He's clearly not just interested in the supplies. He wants the main prize, Yufei. So it raises that question, is this just massive arrogance, or is it actually a clever tactic to draw out his ultimate target? And what does it tell you about his confidence in his own power? He must think he can take him.
He really must. So General Shi Zongbing, you can imagine his relief, right?
Huge sigh of relief.
He quickly camps and sends an urgent report back to Yufei, who's at Chaling Pass. When Yufei reads it, he is furious, just livid. Calls Dong Xian an audacious bandit for, picking on old General Ji.
Yufei's anger there, it's probably not just about the provisions, right? It's about the disrespect shown to one of his generals.
Definitely.
And, more importantly, that direct challenge to his own authority. It really highlights the whole hierarchical structure back then. Reputation was everything in military command. You couldn't let that slide.
No way. So immediately, a general named Shi Quan steps up. Volunteers. I'll go handle this guy.
Okay, someone's eager?
Yep. And Yufei dispatches him with 500 men, tells him go capture this Andit leader.
500 men. So Yufei sends a general, but not himself, despite the personal challenge.
Right. Maybe he still thinks Dongxian is just a bandit, even a tough one, not quite worthy of his personal attention yet.
Or maybe it's a test for Shiquan. See if he can handle it, reassert the marshal's authority that way.
Yeah.
It certainly sets up some tension for us, Yeah. Is this enough?
It does. So Shiquan arrives at General Shi's camp, and he's brimming with confidence. Like, no problem.
Uh-oh. Famous last words.
Maybe. Because General Shi, who actually faced Dongxian, he's still worried. He tries to warn Shiquan, tells him Dongxian is incredibly tough. He even asks, did you bring more generals with you? Kind of hinting that Shiquan might be, biting off more than he can chew.
So she has the firsthand experience, the fear.
But Shiquan just brushes it off. Total bravado. He says basically, General Shi, don't worry about it. Just sit back and watch me capture him.
Ah, that contrast in confidence. Classic, isn't it?
Sure.
She knows the real threat. He felt it. Shiquan, maybe a bit arrogant, maybe underestimating a bandit, is just full of himself.
Yeah.
It really ramps up the drama for the fight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Makes you lean in and wonder whose assessment is right. Is Shiquan's confidence earned, or is Shi's caution spot on?
So Shiquan rides out full of that confidence, calls out Dongxian, challenges him.
Okay, here we go.
Dongxian comes down the mountain, and the first thing he asks Shiquan is, are you Yufei?
Ah, so he's still focused on Yufei.
Totally. Shiquan says, no, I'm his commander, sent to capture you. And Dongxian gets enraged, insulted that Yufei sent a subordinate.
Disrespect.
Exactly. So he attacks with that crescent-bladed shovel. And the text says the clang, the impact is so powerful it leaves Shiquan's arms numb just from the first blow.
Wow. Numb arms. That's serious power.
And Dongxian just keeps coming, several more crushing blows. Shiquan is completely overwhelmed, can't keep up at all. He just turns his horse and flees.
Flees. Just like that.
Just like that. A swift, decisive, and pretty humiliating defeat for the super confident general.
Okay, the speed of that defeat, that's important, right? Narratively speaking, it just slams home how incredibly strong Dongxian actually is.
Commander Shiquan just got totally beaten by this bandit Dongxian.
Yeah, Dongxian is Crescent Moon Spade. He sounds pretty scary.
The text really paints a picture of Shiquan's retreat, doesn't it? It's desperate.
Oh, absolutely. His fear is almost tangible. It says, the sound of his own horse's bells.
Yeah.
He thinks it's Dongxian still chasing him.
Wow.
So he just bolts, runs headlong for over 20 line. That's 7 miles?
Something like that, yeah. He's completely out of breath. Spirit just crushed.
And that detail, the 20 line, it's not just distance, is it? It shows how profound the defeat was. It's mental, emotional weight.
Yeah, you can almost feel it. Imagine running that far, thinking you're about to die any second. Every noise is terrifying.
It's got to be deeply humiliating for a commander. Isolating.
But then, he finally stops, catches his breath, realizes Dongxian isn't actually there.
Relief.
Huge relief, probably. And then he spots someone up ahead.
Right, this striking figure.
Yeah, a young man. Handsome, the text says, richly dressed, tiger head gold crown, red battle robe, riding this reddish-brown horse.
And he's got backup, too. 14 or 15 retainers with him.
A whole group. It's quite a contrast to Shiquan's state.
Definitely. And Shiquan's reaction is really interesting here.
What does he do?
Well, maybe he's worried for them. Or maybe trying to, get back a bit of dignity. He calls out to the young man, warns him, says there's an extremely fierce bandit up ahead.
Tells him to turn back.
Yeah, basically, get out of here, you'll die. He's projecting his own terror onto them.
It's amazing how our own failures can just color everything, isn't it?
Totally. He just got routed, so he assumes this kid is walking into the same trap.
Makes you think, are we seeing the situation clearly or just through the lens of our last setback?
That's the key question, isn't it? Shiquan sees danger, maybe warns out of genuine concern, but it's filtered through his own defeat.
He's judging based on his own limits right then. He sees a rich kid, not a potential solution.
Exactly. That bias, born from defeat, almost makes him miss what's right in front of him.
Okay, but here's where it gets good. The young man's reaction.
Completely unexpected.
Instead of panicking or turning back like Shiquan urged,
he just shows curiosity, turns his horse, rides up politely,
and asks, basically, why'd you shout at me?
That calmness, that polite inquiry, it immediately signals something different about him. No fear, just composure.
Yeah. And Shiquan, maybe he sees a chance to explain himself. justify why he was running.
Possibly. So he tells him who he is, a commander under Yu Fei, explains the mission, protecting supplies for General Shi Kan.
And then he admits it. Admits he got beaten badly by Dongxian. Calls the bandit skillful.
That's a big admission for a commander, especially to a stranger. Shows how shaken Shi Quan is, maybe.
Or maybe something about the young man makes him feel he can admit it.
That's possible, too.
Yeah.
But what happens next is the real transformation.
Right. The young man hears all this, doesn't flinch, just calmly asks his retainers for his armor.
Gets off his horse, puts on this form-fitting golden armor, jumps back on.
And then they bring him his weapon, this massive spear.
The tiger-head chisel gold spear. And Shi Quan himself notes how substantial it is, thicker even than his own halberd.
So not just fancy gear. This guy means business.
Absolutely. The visual is powerful. From rich youth to armored warrior in moments. And that's at spear description. It tells Shi Quan and us, this isn't just show. This is serious capability.
A complete reevaluation for Shi Quan, you have to imagine.
For sure. Everything he thought he knew about this kid just got turned on its head.
And then the young man just says, okay, lead the way. Take me to the bandit.
Bold.
Very. Shi Quan's still terrified, obviously. Asks for the young man's name, warns him again about Dongxian.
But the young man's reply is just pure confidence, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. Let's go meet him. If I win, I'll tell you my name. If I lose, well, doesn't matter then, does it?
It's brilliant. Puts all the pressure on the outcome, forces Shi Quan to trust him without even a name.
And then his retainers chime in?
Right. They laugh at Shi Quan. Say something like, you call yourself a commander, scared of bandits. How are you going to fight the Jin?
Ouch. That's gotta sting.
It's harsh, but it highlights the bigger picture, the real war. And it kind of shames Shi Quan into going along. He's red-faced, but what else can he do?
Nothing, really, he has to follow. So, okay, they get near Jigong Mountain. Shi Quan points out the bandit camp.
Still probably shaking a bit.
I bet. And the young general just rides straight to the base of the mountain.
Doesn't hesitate.
And shouts a challenge. Tells Dongxian to come down and see my small general skill.
Dongxian comes charging down, of course, full of arrogance.
And he immediately mocks Shi Quan again. You worthless wretch bringing a kid here to die? Seriously?
Classic bad guy move. Underestimating the opponent, focusing on the guy he already beat. His ego is blinding him.
But the young man doesn't trade insults. He does something unexpected. Again.
He's diplomatic.
Right. Addresses Dongxian directly, acknowledges his reputation, calls him a hero even.
And then offers him a deal. Why be a bandit? Join Yu Fei with me. Earn some real fame. Stick with this, and you might not live long.
It's not a taunt, it's a recruitment pitch, right before the fight.
This is where you see his strategic mind. It's brilliant. He sees a potentially valuable asset, not just an enemy.
He's thinking bigger picture, how Dongxian could help Yu Fei.
Exactly. He offers honor, a path to redemption. It's leadership, not just fighting, trying to win the man, not just the duel.
A totally different approach than Shi Quan's runaway instinct. The young man sees a potential ally where Shi Quan only saw a threat.
Of course, Dongxian isn't having it. He's insulted, calls the young man a little fuzzy worm,
Nice.
and attacks with his spade.
But the young man is ready, deflects it with that big tiger head spear.
And then it's just a flurry of attacks. Dozens of spear thrusts, the text says.
Overwhelms him completely. Dongxian gets flustered, sweaty, can't block.
And then he does exactly what Shi Quan did.
Turns and runs.
Yep, flees back up the mountain, yelling for his brothers.
So skill-proved, point made, but then comes the real twist.
A masterstroke, yeah. Dongxian's 4 allies, 2 Jin and the others, they come rushing down to help him.
Ready for a fight.
But then they stop, dead in their tracks.
Why?
They recognize him. They all shout out, "Ah, it's the young master!"
You young master!
And they jump off their horses and kneel right there.
Wow. Okay, so his own backup suddenly switches sides. Mid-battle, what's going on?
It's all about who he is, his lineage. The young master gets off his horse, too.
And he reveals the connection.
Exactly. He
Yeah.
tells them, hey, you guys served under my father, Marshal Zhang.
His father was their commander.
Apparently so. And he doesn't just remind them, he kind of scolds them. Why are you bandits? My grandfather wanted you to join Yu Fei.
So he's calling them back to their former honor, using his family name and legacy.
It's not just I'm powerful. It's you belong to something better, something tied to me. It gives him instant authority over them.
And holds them accountable. That's powerful.
Very. And the 4 generals, they're clearly ashamed. Dongxian basically forced them into this bandit life.
So they weren't there willingly.
That's their story. And it's at this point the young master finally gives his name, Zhongxian.
Zhongxian, okay.
And he explains his own mission, set by his great-grandfather, the elderly master, to join Yufei, earn glory.
He lays it all out.
And then he gives them a job. Tells them to go convince Dongxian to switch sides too. Join Yufei. Get honor instead of living like this.
Wow. He turns his father's former men into recruiters for him.
Yeah.
That's incredibly savvy.
It's strategic genius. Using identity, legacy, shared purpose, leveraging everything to turn the situation completely around. It's about influence, not just force.
So Shiquan is watching all of this, the guy he warned to run away.
Yeah, the guy he was terrified for.
Is now commanding the situation, winning fights, recruiting enemies. How's Shiquan feeling?
Overjoyed. The text says he's just filled with relief and respect. His fear is gone.
He must see Zhengxian completely differently now.
Absolutely. He immediately dismounts, gives a formal greeting, and even General Ji Kun, the guy whose supplies started this whole mess.
He comes out too.
Yeah, comes out to welcome Zhang Xian personally. Everyone recognizes immediately how valuable this young man is.
So Zhengxian's status just skyrockets.
Instantly. And it's not just about the fight he won. It's the whole package. The diplomacy, the leadership, resolving this whole bandit issue.
And what about Dongxian? Do the four generals actually convince him?
They do. They go back up the mountain. Dongxian is apparently really impressed by Zhang Xian's skill and, the offer of a better path.
So he agrees to surrender.
Agrees to surrender and join Yufei. They just ask for one day.
To do what?
To clean up the stronghold.
Ah, right. The polite way of saying pack up our bandit operation and maybe ditch the evidence.
Pretty much. Yeah. A complete break. And the next day, Dongxian and his brothers, they do just that. They empty the place out.
And then
They set it on fire.
wow, symbolic, burning the past.
Exactly. A very public statement. Then they come down the mountain,
Just the few of them.
with several thousand men. These Lingbing, maybe local recruits or their former bandit followers,
Yeah.
who are now ready for a legitimate cause.
So Zhengxian didn't just recruit Dongxian and his brothers, he brought over a whole army.
An entire fighting force, yeah.
Yeah.
What started as Shiquan running for his life ends with thousands of new troops for Yufei.
That's incredible. Shi Kun welcomes them all. And Shiquan.
Shiquan steps up. He reorganizes everyone, creates two divisions.
Sensible.
One led by the newcomers Zhangxian and Dongxian with their combined troops. The other led by himself.
And they all head off together.
Yep, a unified, much stronger force heading for Chaling Pass. Tanhuai and Mingbanji, they're on a critical mission. Transport grain for the famous Marshal Yufei.
And time is absolutely of the essence here. That pressure, it's about to shape a really crucial decision they make.
Precisely. They've got direct orders.
Yeah.
Deliver this grain and deliver it fast.
Yeah, it's not just moving stuff from A to B. In their world, efficiency means, well, military merit. It means honor. That's a huge motivator.
So they're pushing hard, and they get to this three-way intersection. And it's more than just a fork in the road, right? It's a strategic choice.
Definitely a dilemma.
They can take the longer, maybe safer main road.
Right.
Or risk a shorter path, a smaller one, potentially dangerous.
It's that age-old trade-off, isn't it? Speed versus security.
Always.
And in a military situation, especially with vital supplies, that calculation carries enormous weight.
What's really interesting, though, is why Tanhuai chooses the shortcut.
Okay, yeah.
He's clearly driven by ambition. He actually says that delivering the grain early earns Gonglao credit, basically, merit.
Recognition.
And then he just quite confidently dismisses any threat, bandits, strongmen, whatever. He trusts their own skill.
Yeah.
So he picks the small, faster path. But what's so fascinating is what happens immediately, the consequences.
Right. The text tells us this small path. It turns out to be narrow and difficult. We're talking climbing mountains, crossing ridges.
So much for faster.
Exactly. The irony, you see, is their plan to be fast actually makes them unconsciously slower. It's the classic paradox, isn't it?
It really is.
That eagerness for a shortcut, that desire for quick merit, it ends up doing the exact opposite. And it makes you think how often we still see that play out today, right? Pushing for speed, overlooking key details, and ending up on a much longer, harder journey.
That's a powerful lesson.
Yeah.
Unintended consequences. So, okay, after days of this unexpectedly tough, slower than planned travel.
Yeah, slogging along.
They finally reach this large, flat area. Looks like a decent spot to make camp, rest up, prepare for more mountains.
You'd think they'd just want to collapse.
All right. But Tanhuai, he's clearly restless. He gets another idea. something to break the monotony.
Ah, yes, feeling the grind, maybe a bit frustrated by their slow progress.
Probably.
He suggests to Mang Bangji, hey, let's hunt some wild game to go with our
A
wine.
little morale booster.
Exactly. He frames it as, easing the boredom, the fatigue. It's a very human moment, isn't it? Looking for a small pleasure, a distraction.
And Ming Bangji, the text says he has this youthful spirit, so he's all for it. Eagerly agrees.
Aha, yeah. Off they go.
So they ride out, deep woods, dense grass, looking for this diversion, and then they spot it.
The prize.
A large deer, just grazing. And Tom Y, showing some real skill here, quickly draws his bow, shoots, and hits the deer right in the back.
A good shot, definitely. But maybe not instantly fatal.
No, exactly. The wounded deer is actually carrying the arrow, and it bolts.
The chase is on.
It leads them on a chase for 10 leagues, which is what, about 3 miles? 5 kilometers?
Yeah, a fair distance. Especially on horseback over rough ground, they're determined now.
You bet they are, after all that effort on the shortcut.
Right. They want this deer.
And this is where the story just flips completely, takes a truly unexpected turn.
Okay.
They're chasing the deer into this pine forest, closing in, and suddenly, out of the shadows, it's not another hunter.
No.
It's a whole group of warriors, unexpected warriors. A group of female generals and their soldiers just emerge.
Wow. Okay. Female generals.
And the description of these women is just fantastic. It completely shatters any expectation you might have had.
The author really paints a picture here. 2 women leading the group, described with, well, striking beauty, but also clear martial prowess.
Yeah, brows like crescent moons, faces like peach blossoms.
But they've got golden hairpins and phoenix shoes. These aren't just pretty faces. They're appearance signals, they're formidable, maybe even aristocratic warriors.
Absolutely. They're wearing chainmail armor, cinching red skirts, and these embroidered sashes.
Practical and indicating status.
And their weapons. One has a King Ping sword, described as chilly and gleaming like frost.
Ooh, that sounds deadly.
The other carries sun moon knives, which apparently scatter auspicious snow when moved.
Poetic, but deadly too, I imagine.
And their archery skills are highlighted too. One draws her bow like a full moon. The other's arrows fly like shooting stars.
Okay, so the message is clear. Do not underestimate these women.
Not for a second. And here's the crucial twist. It's the woman with the sun moon knives who shoots the deer again. Finishes it off.
Ah, so she delivers the killing blow.
Right. And then her soldiers, very efficiently, use a grappling hook to snag the deer, tie it up, and just start carrying it away.
Whoa, okay. Swift. Decisive.
This moment really sets the stage, doesn't it? You've got 2 groups of capable warriors. Both feel they have a claim to this deer.
But one group has now just taken it. Very effectively.
And that vivid description of the female generals, it immediately challenges any assumptions Tang Hui and Meng Bangji might have had.
Absolutely. Who do they expect to find in some remote forest? Probably not this.
And the women's swift, coordinated action leaves no doubt about their skill.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often are first judgments about people based just on how they look or where we find them?
Yeah.
How often that blinds us to who they really are, what they can really do, and leads us straight into conflict we could have avoided.
And conflict is definitely next on the menu. Tang Hui sees their deer being carried off, and he is furious.
I can imagine.
You can almost feel the indignation. He yells to Meng Bangji, "Look, 2 women have taken our deer."
That sense of ownership, of being wronged.
Totally. It's a challenge to their effort, their maybe masculinity, their honor. They chased this thing for miles.
Right. And now, from their perspective, these women just snatched it.
So they ride up. Tong Hui shouts really loudly, "This deer was shot by us. How can you just take it, give it back quick, or face the wrath of us young generals?"
He's trying to pull rank, assert his authority.
But the woman with a sword, she's having none of it. Equally fierce.
Oh, yeah?
She snaps back, "Nonsense. This deer was clearly shot down by my sister's arrow. You want to deny me?"
Ooh, direct counterplay.
And then she adds, "Even if I wanted to return it, my twin swords might not agree."
Okay, that's not subtle. A clear refusal backed by a pretty direct threat.
And this is where it really goes off the rails, beyond just arguing about the deer.
How so?
Tong Hui, enraged by her defiance, makes a huge mistake. He calls her a Jian Ren.
Ah, that's bad.
Very bad. Lowly woman. In that culture, it's not just rude, it's deeply insulting. Attacks her honor, her status.
Yeah, that escalates things dramatically.
He basically questions her nerve, being rude after he, nicely asks for the deer back in his view. And then he attacks. spear first.
So the insult turns it from a property dispute into something deeply personal. Honor is on the line now.
Exactly. The fight's on. The swordswoman skillfully blocks his spear, then counterattacks.
She's holding her own.
For a moment. But Tang Huai, he's furious now because of the insult, and he presses hard with multiple spear thrusts, starts to overwhelm her.
Okay.
And that brings in the second woman, the one with the sun moon knives.
Her sister, right.
She jumps in to help her sister, and she goes up against Meng Bangji.
And Meng Bangji.
He meets her eagerly with his double axes. So now you've got this furious pair versus pair fight.
2 men against 2 women, wow. Each side with their own distinctive weapons.
The description of their fighting styles, it really makes the scene pop. You feel the ferocity.
But the women are outnumbered or outmatched eventually.
It seems that way. The story says the female generals, facing this combined assault, they feint with the saber, turn their horses, and retreat. Towards a large manor house nearby.
Okay, so it's a tactical withdrawal. Not giving up, just regrouping.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, though,
Yeah.
it just shows how fast an argument over, well, a deer,
Yeah.
can blow up into a real battle when pride, honor, and especially a massive insult get thrown in.
And those specific weapons mention spear, axes, sword, sun moon knives. They add that layer of detail.
Yeah.
Tells you about their training, their fierceness. These are seasoned fighters.
No doubt. So yeah, rapid escalation, driven by that sense of, it's mine,
Okay.
but then just fueled by insult and hot tempers.
Leading to this chase, to this mysterious manor.
Right. Tang and Meng pursue them for about maybe a mile, mile and a half, 2 or 3 lie, until they reach this large manor house.
Fan Family Manor, it's called.
Fan Family Manor, yeah. And it's right up against this tall mountain, Bagua Mountain, surrounded by these ancient thick trees. It looks imposing, almost like a fortress.
And the women.
They get inside with their soldiers just in time, slam the gate shut, tight.
A clear refuge. They made it.
But Tang Huai, he's still absolutely livid. He's yelling at the closed gates.
Still wanting the deer. Or just angry now.
Both, probably. He's threatening to basically burn this wretched manor to the ground if they don't return the deer.
Wow. Okay, he's not messing around.
And Meng Bangji is right there egging him on. Break in, he says. They're ready to escalate even further. Lay siege, maybe?
They are right on the verge, aren't they? Turning this whole thing from a skirmish into a full-blown assault on a private estate.
Just about to act. But then something pivotal happens.
The gates.
The manor gates open.
Huh?
And an elderly man walks out.
Ah, the elder.
And he's not just any old man. The description is specific. Over half a century old, square face, mottled beard.
Okay.
He's wearing a leisurely headscarf and a brown velvet robe. Looks calm, dignified. And he's got 3 or 4 retainers with him, armed with sabers.
So he presents this picture of calm, seasoned authority, a real contrast to the rage outside.
Totally. And he immediately takes charge. He calmly asks who these villagers are.
He calls them villagers. Ouch.
Yeah. Daring to bully people at his manor. He warns them not to seek trouble, basically. Not to provoke him. He's questioning their whole behavior, their right to be there.
Interesting. How do they react to being called villagers and told off?
Well, Meng Bangji does something surprising. Instead of getting angrier, he actually steps forward.
Yeah.
And respectfully bows from his horse. He recognizes the elder's presence, his potential authority, a clear signal he's willing to de-escalate.
That's a shift.
A big one. He identifies them properly.
Yeah.
Commanders protecting grain under Yufei's banner.
Ah, invoking the marshal's name. Smart.
Then he explains the whole deer hunt and how their prey was, quote, forcibly taken by the women of the manor. It's a complete change in tone.
And the elder, what's his reaction to this?
Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating. The elder, his name is Fan Rui. He listens very patiently. Then he just masterfully de-escalates. First, he dismisses the deer, says it's nothing worth making such a fuss about. Ha! Just like that. Minimizes the whole conflict source.
Exactly. Then he reveals the 2 women were my daughters.
Oh, okay. Asserting his authority, his connection.
Right. And then the master stroke. He gently invites Tang and Meng into his humble abode for tea.
See, after all that.
And he promises he'll get the deer and return it. It's just a masterclass in conflict resolution.
Wow.
He doesn't argue the facts, who shot what, when he just reframes the whole thing. makes the deal trivial, asserts his position as patriarch, and crucially offers hospitality.
That calm, authoritative voice.
Coupled with that willingness to just smooth things over, downplay the offense, extend that olive branch, it just transforms the whole situation.
From threats of burning the place down
To an invitation for tea. It really makes you think, doesn't it? About the power of status, respect, but also just, well, wise leadership in reshaping a volatile moment.
It's an incredible shift. You can almost feel the tension just evaporate, replaced by this, unexpected formality.
Yeah. And the trust shown is significant, too. Inside the manor, Tang and Meng actually dismount.
They go inside.
They do. Their horses are taken care of, and they lay down their weapons in the main hall.
Lay down their weapons. That's huge.
It is. It's a real sign of submitting to the elder's hospitality, acknowledging his authority. They formally greet him, take seats. They fully shifted from conflict to negotiation, or at least conversation.
And this is where we peel back another layer.
Yeah.
Because who these people actually are completely refrowns everything again.
The introductions.
Right. Tong Wai introduces himself first as Tong Wai, but then adds he's Yufei's sworn brother since childhood.
Whoa, okay. That's not just any commander, sworn brother to the marshal himself.
Big reveal. And Meng Bangji identifies himself as Meng Bangji from Shandong, joined Yufei after offending Prince Lu Lu, also a commander.
So, yeah, not just random soldiers, high-ranking officers, significant connections. Suddenly, they're not just villagers.
Not at all. And then the elder reveals who he is.
Not really.
A former general of Jizhen. That's a high-ranking military post. He's retired now due to illness, but still.
A former general.
Oh.
Okay, so he's not just some wise old man in the country. He's got serious military background and status.
Exactly. This mutual recognition, military hierarchy, shared professional background, it instantly creates this powerful common ground.
The whole initial clash just dissolves, doesn't it? Perceived bandits versus village women, gone.
Completely. Tang and Meng, who were furious at these unknown women. Now they realize they were fighting the daughters of a respected former general.
And Fan Rui realizes these aren't just rowdy soldiers, but commanders close to Marshal Yufei.
The whole dynamic shifts. It's not about territory anymore. It's about peer-to-peer interaction almost, or at least senior-junior within the same world.
So what happens then?
Tang and Meng immediately apologize for their earlier rudeness. Now they recognize Fan Rui as a respected senior official. Their sense of honor kicks in.
Makes sense.
That's-
Proper conduct restored.
And Fan Rui, in turn, fully embraces the host role, offers them mountain delicacies and wild vegetables, a welcoming feast.
It's more than just food, isn't it? It's ceremonial, it seals the deal, harmony, respect, all restored.
Totally. It just hammers home how much our first judgment relies on appearances versus reality.
And how dramatically recognizing shared backgrounds, shared status can change everything, resolving what looked like an impossible conflict just moments before. And here's where it gets really interesting. Fan Rui finds out these two generals are orphans and they're not married. Then he tells them about this dream he had, a prophetic dream apparently, two fierce tigers chasing a deer right into his inner hall. And he interprets this pretty dramatically as a sign from heaven, an auspicious match for his two daughters.
Yeah, just like that.
It's just like that. And these aren't your typical daughters either. The source says they were lazy at needlework, but fond of wielding swords. What does that suggest? I mean, how unusual was that for young women back then?
That's a fascinating glimpse, isn't it, into the period. Usually the focus is on, domestic skills,
Yeah.
but his daughters being more into martial arts suggests maybe a different kind of upbringing. Varying strength, practical skills, maybe preparing them for something else. And the speed of it all, the proposal, the wedding, held on an auspicious day, the text calls it Huangdao Jiten, complete with all the proper nuptial rites, the hijin. It's quite dramatic. It really highlights this pragmatic, almost fated view of marriage sometimes. Alliances were formed fast, especially when military duty was pressing. It shows how destiny and practical needs could just crash together, shaping lives and maybe even military outcomes.
And the wedding happens super fast. No long engagement. Then, shortly after, Fan Rui's son comes back. He's 12 years old, Fan Cheng, described as a little hero, a tiger general in the making. He returns from hunting, probably thinking it's just another day,
Softly.
and finds out he suddenly has two new brothers-in-law. Can you imagine walking into that?
Yeah, quite the homecoming surprise. But young Fan Cheng, his reaction, it adds this charming element, but there's more to it. It hints at things to come. His promise, to kill the barbarians, Sham Fanding in just 2 years. It's not just a kid talking tough. It really underscores this deep generational sense of duty, national service. Even for a young boy, in the middle of all this family stuff, that national struggle is right there. It shows how deeply ingrained that patriotism was.
But even with all the celebrating, duty calls. Always does. After only 3 days, talk about a short honeymoon, Tang Wai and Meng Bengji have to leave. And Fen Rui, he gets it. He tells them, devote yourselves to state affairs. And he hopes they'll help welcome back the two sages, meaning the captured emperors, Huzan and Qinzong.
Right. That objective, retrieving the embers, it's huge for Yufei. It's not just about winning battles. It's about restoring the nation's honor, its legitimacy. That's the big prize.
Okay, so after this, let's call it a personal detour. How does it all feed back into Yufei's main campaign? Let's shift over to Yufei's camp. Big things are happening there too, strategically. We hear that commanders Ji Kun and Shi Quan have reported back. Good news. They've secured the surrender of Iron-Faced Dong Shan from Nine Palace Mountain. That sounds like a tough character.
Definitely. Iron-Faced suggests formidable, maybe ruthless. His surrender isn't just a win. It might mean bringing his experience, maybe his followers, over to Yufei's side. A real coup.
And there's more. Young Master Zhe arrives carrying a crucial letter from his grandfather, so these aren't just random new guys. They represent real strategic gains, right?
Absolutely pivotal games. And it really shows Yufei's skill, not just on the battlefield, but in integrating different kinds of strengths. You have Dong Xian, maybe a former enemy bringing military might, then young Master Zhang, representing perhaps political clout or connections through his family. Yufei's shown as this leader who can bring these different people together, and his message is clear. Serve the country, and you can achieve great things. Achieve merit and gain titles, provide for one's family. Zhonggong Liming, Buge Feng Qianzi. That's a powerful motivator. It appeals to ambition and loyalty. It's smart leadership, understanding what drives people.
Exactly. And speaking of motivations, and maybe consequences, Tong Huai and Meng Bengji finally show up at camp, and as we know, they're late. Noticeably late. Yeah. Yufei, predictably, asks them why they're delayed, and they have to confess, kind of sheepishly, about their little detour, admitting they captured a deer and got married, which caused a 3-day delay in a vital military mission. You can just feel the tension, right? What's the boss going to say? So let me ask you this, thinking about it. How would a strict military commander in wartime usually react to that? Dereliction of duty for a wedding.
Oh, typically. Very, very badly. I mean, traditionally, a delay like that on a critical mission, it could easily mean severe punishment, maybe even execution. Military discipline has to be strict usually. The idea is to stop personal things from messing up the bigger strategy. So yeah, the standard response would likely be harsh, swift and harsh.
That's what you'd expect. But here's the twist. This is where Yufei really surprises. His reaction is incredibly lenient. He declares them without fault.
Without fault, really? Yes.
And he reveals he'd actually already abolished the rule about on-the-spot recruitment for marriage, Linjin Zhao Qingyi Kuani Jingachu. So he basically just tells them, go join the party, the celebratory banquet for the new recruits, and says he'll congratulate them properly later. What do you make of that, given the pressures of war? Isn't that kind of risky, undermowing discipline?
Well, it certainly seems risky on the surface, almost counterintuitive for military thinking. But look closer. By having already gotten rid of that specific rule, Yufei isn't just forgiving them on a whim. It feels more like a calculated move. He's prioritizing morale. He's investing in the loyalty of his key generals. He understands the human side and maybe figures that forcing marriages or being overly rigid could actually cause more problems down the line, resentment, unhappy soldiers. So this flexibility could actually foster deeper dedication. It keeps the main goal, the national objectives, front and center, but without breaking his officers' spirits. It shows a leader who can adapt the rules for the greater good, not just follow them blindly. He understands that a motivated army, a content army, fights better.
That's a really insightful way to look at it. Pragmatic leadership. Okay, so new recruits are in. Morale is probably pretty high after that wedding incident. Yufei secures his supply lines and then leads his main force to Qiwu Mountain. He's ready for a challenge, and the challenge is General He Wangqing. He sounds formidable, described with shining armor, wielding a two-headed silver hammer, looking mighty and imposing.
Definitely someone you notice on the battlefield.
And Yufei, always thinking strategically, sees him and immediately thinks, internal monologue here, if I could just get this guy to surrender, then recovering the two sages wouldn't be such a worry.
And that thought right there, it tells you everything. It brings it all back to the ultimate goal, getting the emperors back. Every fight, every potential recruit. It's all measured against that objective. Bringing He King over isn't just about winning the day's battle. It's a major step towards that huge national goal. Restoring honor. It's grand strategy in action.
So Yufei, who's known for being persuasive, doesn't just charge in. He calls out to He King, appealing directly for his surrender. He even compliments him, acknowledging his reputation, mentioning past victories, how he subdued guys like Yang Hu and Yu Hualong, trying to connect, maybe appeal to his sense of honor.
A smart approach. Respecting your opponent before you ask them to yield. But then Yu King comes back with this really unexpected answer. It just throws a curveball. He says, yeah, he was actually planning to surrender.
Oh, so what stopped him?
He claims he couldn't because 2 household generals under his command refused to let him.
His subordinates are telling him, the general, he can't surrender.
Exactly. It's not the usual reason you hear. It immediately complicates things. It reveals this whole other layer of loyalty and influence within He King's own camp.
Yufei is understandably taken aback. He challenges him on it. Like, how can a general, a man of your standing, be held back by his own men? He even calls it shameful, basically questioning his authority, his command.
A fair point from a military perspective. But Yonki pushes back. He insists these aren't just any soldiers. They've been with him since they were kids. They're like family, inseparable. And they possess, according to him, unrivaled valor. Wan Fubidong Zhiyang, like courage beyond measure. He feels he can't just leave them, and they won't be easily persuaded.
Wow. So these mysterious bodyguards essentially hold the key.
It seems so, which raises this really fascinating question for you listening. Who are these guys?